For my favorite poem project this time, I will now have to choose my second favorite poem because my favorite poem was chosen last semester in the favorite poem project. And so today I will be reading my second favorite poem of all time, Tulips by Sylvia Plath. I first read Sylvia Plath in high school, and the vividness and the intimacy of her images really drew me to her poetry and drew me to her style very much. So, and I think Tulips is one of the poems that really stands out to me from her work. So here it is. Tulips by Sylvia Plath. The tulips are too excitable. It is winter here. Look at how white everything is, how quiet, how snowed in. I am learning peacefulness, lying by myself quietly, as the light lies on these white walls, this bed, these hands. I am nobody. I have nothing to do with explosions. I have given my name and my day clothes up to the nurses, and my history to the anesthetist, and my body to surgeons. They have propped my head between the pillow and the sheet cuff, like an eye between two white lids that will not shut. Stupid pupil. It has to take everything in. The nurses pass and pass. They are no trouble. They pass the way gulls pass inland in their white caps, doing things with their hands, one just the same as another, so it is impossible to tell how many there are. My body is a pebble to them. They tend it as water tends to pebbles and must run over, smoothing them gently. They bring me numbness in their bright needles. They bring me sleep. Now I have lost myself. I am sick of baggage. My patent leather overnight case is like a black pillbox. My husband and child smiling out of the family photo. Their smiles catch on my skin, little smiling hooks. I have let things slip. A 30-year-old cargo boat stubbornly hanging on to my name and address. They have swatted me clear of my loving associations. Scared and bare on the green plastic pillow trolley, I watch my tea set, my bureaus of linen, my books sink out of sight, and the water went over my head. I am a nun now. I have never been so pure. I didn't want any flowers. I only wanted to lie with my hands turned up and be utterly empty. How free it is. You have no idea how free. The peacefulness is so big it dazes you, and it asks nothing, a name tag, a few trinkets. It is what the dead close on. Finally, I imagine them shutting their mouths on it, like a communion tablet. The tulips are too red in the first place. They hurt me. Even through the gift paper, I could hear them breathe lightly through their white swaddlings, like an awful baby. Their redness talks to my wound. It corresponds. They are subtle. They seem to float, though they weigh me down, upsetting me with their sudden tongues and their color, a dozen red lead sinkers round my neck. Nobody watched me before. Now I am watched. The tulips turn to me, and the window behind me, where once a day the light slowly widens and slowly thins, and I see myself, flat, ridiculous, a cut paper shadow between the eye of the sun and the eyes of the tulips. And I have no face. I have wanted to efface myself. The vivid tulips eat my oxygen. Before they came, the air was calm enough, coming and going, breath by breath, without any fuss. Then the tulips filled it up like a loud noise. Now the air snags and eddies round them the way a river snags and eddies round a sunken rust-red engine. They concentrate my attention. That was happy, playing and resting without committing itself. The walls also seem to be warming themselves. The tulips should be behind bars like dangerous animals. They are opening like the mouth of some great African cat, and I am aware of my heart. It opens and closes its bowl of red blooms out of sheer love of me. The water I taste is warm and salt, like the sea, and comes from a country far away as health. I really like this poem mainly because, firstly, of its vivid imagery. I think there's a lot of irony in imagery, in that she associates negative connotations to things that, or no emotion at all to things that normally we'd be happy with. For example, photos of her family, or a bouquet of flowers delivered to her in the hospital. In fact, she describes these tulips as sort of devilish. For example, the vivid tulips eat my oxygen, sort of describing something beautiful in a way that is complete out of the ordinary. And so, and furthermore, I love the imagery of the color versus the whiteness of the hospital. It is winter here, everything is white. And I think the imagery in this poem is the one of the major reasons I'm really drawn to it, because it really paints a picture, I think. But furthermore, I think it paints sort of a unique perspective of Sylvia Plath in her very specific condition. It's very personal, but at the same time, it doesn't seem to bare its heart or be overflowing with passion. It imitates her numbness. It feels like it has the same feeling of motionlessness, it has a very static quality to it, but at the same time, it shows how the flowers and the outside world sort of irks her. She's celebrating that she is free from the outside world, free from all the things that have troubled her. And I think the tulips are just but a gentle reminder that there is still a world out there and that she's not completely free. I also really enjoy the rhythm. To me, the length of the poem and the way that it's very prosaic sort of gives the poem sort of a lack of focus. Much like if she's drugged up the whole time, and she says that they bring me numbness and their bright needles, they bring me sleep. Now I have lost myself, I am sick of baggage. The very expansive prose makes it feel unfocused and makes it feel like there's no personality to it, although of course we know deep beneath the surface of this poem there's a lot of suffering. And so this is why I enjoy this poem. It's extremely unique because it goes against what we normally associate with poetry, to highlight the obvious or to highlight what we mainly see in the objects around us, and to be extremely concise and terse. I think this poem is very unique.